Video showing grabbing strength is tweaked depending on how much money has been paid in. Now, I kind of knew that everybody. I would think that most people who've played those stupid things realize that they're slightly rigged. Because how else is it that you grab something right where you're supposed to grab it, and the claw can't pick it? I mean, it's sitting right on. There's nothing holding it in. No other stuffed animal, no other product is holding what you grabbed in or down. And you set that claw right on top of it, and it nearly grabs the entire thing. You know, like a teddy bear or something. It nearly grabs the entire teddy bear, and yet it can't pick it up. And you're sitting there scratching your head thinking, what the? Well, this is why. A Washington-based writer studied instruction manuals of claw machines. Now, Phil Edwards for Vox.com found that many of them are rigged for profit. Operators change the strength of the claw to reduce chances of winning. This makes the game down to mostly luck rather than skill. So you're only going to win when it's kind of like the slot machine, when it's your time to win. There's no skill involved in these things. Now, most people have played these or at least seen them. A claw machine at an arcade or in places like, Walmart, or they're all over the place. In, the grocery stores, at the entrances or exits at grocery stores. And one of the things that people, they look at is, it's only 50 cents, it's a couple of quarters, stick it in there, and you try it once or twice, and you're on your way. And most of the time, most people don't walk away with any prizes, and they just think, well, no big deal. Now, I know some people think that it comes down to skill, but it doesn't, obviously. Some people think it comes down to skill as to whether they bag a cuddly toy. A video has revealed that's not the case, and most machines are actually rigged. Now, because you kind of thought that they were rigged, you would still play them anyway. But I got to tell you, now that I've actually, and I'll post it on the rodeccles.net so you can see this. But now that I've actually seen it with my own eyes, as Darth Vader would say, I'm not playing these things again. Look, this is the reason why I don't play any of the games on the Midway at fairs and such, because they're rigged for you to lose. Now, don't get me wrong. The Midway games, they're not cheating you, really. They're not. But when you rig this electronic device to change its claw strength, you're cheating people. You really are. Because now it's not about skill anymore. See, at least with the Midway games at the fairs, they're rigged for you to lose, but at least there's still skill involved. You got the basketball game, for example. Now, it still takes skill to get that ball in the hoop and make the shot. The problem is that the hoops are smaller than official size. Now, it's not really cheating because it's still taking skill to do it. But I know that that's the reason why people don't seem to win as much or get the ball in the hoop as much, because the hoops are smaller, slightly smaller, and they're more bouncy. So when the ball hits the rim, it bounces more than on a regular official rim. And you just have to learn how to handle that type of rim. You have to be more skilled at it. And that's all there is to it. It's the same with the water cannon guns. And you can look at, from fair to fair, different operators, you can look at the water, where you have the water cannon, and you have to shoot the water into a hole and blow up a balloon in order to win, or a lighter, put up a light or something. And you can notice between different operators how big or small that hole is. Obviously, the smaller the hole, the less water you're going to get in there at a time. So it allows more people to be in competition and stay in the game, I guess. It is what it is, folks. But at least there's still skill involved. There isn't something rigged that prevents you from winning. When you get it in the hole, when you get the water in the hole, there's nothing preventing you from winning other than another contestant who got more water in the hole before you did. So that's it. But here, in these claw games, they're actually cheating you because you can have the skill get that claw right over the item, as I said, but because the claw doesn't have any grip strength or closing strength, it's not going to pick up the item. And you could sit here and you could scratch your head and say, wow, okay. And you can put in another dollar's worth and put it in the exact same spot, and then because you've hit the time frame or the amount of money, now you're going to win. That's cheating. And I think that should be illegal, but the video explains the operator of the machines can set how often they pay out, and the strength of the claw will be dictated by how much money has been put into the machine. Now, the revelations were made by Phil Edwards over at Vox, and anyone who has played a claw machine can relate to the experience of having the claw perfectly positioned only to see it weakly graze the prize before pulling back up. Now, it's not your imagination. Those claw machines are rigged. In the video, Mr. Edwards said he looked at the instruction guides for several claw games and found that some of them told operators how to adjust the claw strength to manage their profits. For example, if a prize costs $7 and it's 50 cents to play each time, and the operator wants a profit of 50%, the claw will only allow the player to win 1 out of every 21 games or tries. Now, this is randomized, though, so the winning game cannot be counted or worked out. So the machines can also taunt the player by lifting up the prize and then dropping it, making them think that they have almost won. And this can encourage players to try again because of the psychological impact of near wins. So in other words, the claw is just going to pick it up, have enough strength to pick it up, but then as it gets to the top, because it's not very strong, and you can, and you've seen it, if you've ever played the games, how the claw, how it drops. You know, it just drops on a particular thing. And then it just sort of nice and smoothly works its way back up, but then it slams into the roof or the ceiling or the socket that the claw comes out of. And that often shakes the prize loose. I mean, I've had that happen to me more than once, and I've gotten kind of really ticked off about that. Like, yeah, I got it, and it slams against the roof of the game, and it's, are you kidding me? The game just did that. I didn't do it. The game did that. Well, that's what they do. That's how they, you know, the game operator makes their money, and you know, some people may say that that's fraud. And in actuality, yeah, I guess there is some bit of fraud that goes along with it. Yes, you can say it's kind of fraudulent. Now, the website Vending Times, however, says that Vox doesn't tell the whole story regarding the skill element. It added, for several years now, amusement industry leaders have been advocating strict self-policing policies, encouraging vendors to operate that equipment and redemption programs in strict adherence to the law. Oh yeah, so now we're going to have vending game police out there, making sure that the games are up to snuff. Well, look, folks, what I say, just don't play them. Just, I fully understand that, the person who owns the game, they have to make a profit in order to stay in business. I get it. But you know what? Then do something different. Use a different type of vending machine or something. I don't know. Just use a regular vending. You put in 2 quarters and you get a candy bar or a piece of bubble gum, whatever out. That's all. Do that. Speaking of which, there have been businesses that have been, you probably have seen or heard, there was a time when there were people out there hawking their different ways of making money, and they would glamorize everything and not really tell you the full hard story about what it's going to take to make money. And one of those was gumball machines. Anybody remember those? The gumball machines. All you got to do is put a gumball machine in this location, and each gumball machine was like hundreds of dollars. And the reality is none of them should have cost that much, because they didn't cost that much to build, but they were very much overpriced. But, you could go to like places like Sam's Club and BJ's, and you could buy, for relatively cheap, the items that go into the gumball machine, the gum, the candy, that type of thing. But what they failed to tell you, and I know that there were some lawsuits that were issued against some of these companies. All you got to do is spend $625 on this gumball machine, and you're going to make your money back lickety-split. You just put this gumball machine in a high-traffic location like this one, and you'll make your money. But what they fail to tell you is that when you put it in a location, either you're going to pay rent, unless you own the store or what have you. You got to pay rent for the floor space that you're using, or you got to share the profits in the machine. So every time, you got to pay a commission. So let me tell you, some of those small business owners that let you put the gumball machine in there, they're there. They're standing over you when you're counting the money out of the machine, and they expect to get a check for, their percentage of it. Oh yeah, I'm getting 30% of this, right? So you got $100 in quarters, huh? Okay, I expect my check in a few days for $30. And they would try to tell you that there are ways that you can get around that by saying, well, you're going to donate a certain percentage to a charitable organization, and you can put that charity, on the gumball machine, and I'll get people to purchase 10% more product or what have you. And then you would go out and what they would tell how to people to do this, and then only send 10%. The problem is that a lot of these business owners or location owners, they found that out. Well, wait a minute. So I can get 30%, or if I give it to you for free, you're only going to donate 10%. Well, you better cough up the extra 20 or get your freaking gumball machine out of my business. And I'll just get my own gumball. And that a lot of people did that. They kicked out the gumball machine owner and went and bought their own gumball machine, because the same people that sold that gumball machine owner, new business owner, a gumball machine, was now contacting the business owner saying, hey, you know what? You don't need that guy. Keep 100% of the profits for yourself, but you just buy the $600 gumball machine. And that's what they did. And that's where a lot of the lawsuits came from, is because that kind of practice. See, that's kind of fraudulent to do that to people. It's the same thing with with this the rigged claw game, which is really kind of bad, because I used to really kind of like playing the claw game. I know it was dumb, it was stupid, it was it's only 50 cents or whatever, but yeah, it blows 30, not even 30 seconds of your time, but it was kind of fun at the time. But now that I know that there's no possible way for you to win it on a regular basis because they're rigged, and I used to think that I was really good, because you get these things, they're no bigger than the palm of your hand, little stupid things. You probably put in 50 cents and the item already cost only a quarter to the vendor, so of course they're going to give that out more often. Yeah, you're going to win. Once every 2 tries you win, because they're making 150%, but. Just so you know that now those games are rigged. And they might, depending on your location and your state and regulation and law and what have you, some of them might be violating law. So I don't know what you do about it. I don't think if you call the police, they're going to come out, rush out and, arrest the machine. That's not going to happen. Although I would like to see that. Considering all the cop shootings that have been happening lately, I would like to see a cop get ticked off at one of these machines and shoot it. Shoot it dead. Of course, then you'd probably have some of these cop block idiots out there filming it and saying, look, aggressive behavior by cop shoots dead innocent machine. Ha! We know those machines are not innocent.